It's time for the Steve and Kyle podcast with Kyle.
For my money, there's equal chance you proposed on the top of a dune hill after you guys stepped out of a Jeep and blew sand out your nostrils. And then you got down on one knee.
Right.
Wearing your board shorts or whatever. Said, hey, babe, want to get hitched?
The Jeep's my best man.
And Steve.
Can we pitch you as anything? So if I could get you in there, can we pitch you as anything? Maybe, can you be the MC? Would you be willing to?
Ooh, I can juggle.
I don't know how long that keeps the crowd entertained with just silence. Hey, everybody.
But there's no
meet me on the dance floor. I'm going to juggle.
Live on tape from APS 3 point whatever, it's the Steve and Kyle podcast.
Is the summer calendar filling up quick with all the weddings that we're going to be attending?
We received, and I'm not going to apologize to you, but it's kind of your fault. I received a message from our dear friend of the podcast, and by the way, I'm just now noticing my pipes are
Sounds great.
Immaculate right now.
Sounds so good. Hold on. Wait, go ahead.
Yeah, I received a text from a friend of the podcast. Yeah, do we need any reads done? Because right now is
it's the time to do it.
In a world. From our friend Rusty, Town Drunk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you're listening to the pod, just so you guys know, both y'all are for sure invited and could probably do whatever the F you want at my wedding if/when I ever get married again. Whatever. You want to get ordained and marry me? Done. Want to be flower guys? Done. Whatever.
Oh.
I don't give an S.
So that means I can juggle then, right? I mean, he said whatever.
Listen, I think him saying whatever, I think we really need to take a step back and make a decision before rushing into deciding juggling is the answer. The world at our fingertips.
Disagree. I think juggling's always the answer.
I'll put it up both questions.
Is juggling always the answer?
Yeah, is juggling always the answer? And when the world is at your fingertips, do you choose juggling? Because that's where we're at right now.
Look, I just took about 5 seconds and I couldn't come up with one better thing.
I would love to be ordained. This is something I've legitimately wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I was supposedly in the running for a friend a couple of years ago. They had to switch dates and everything.
In the running?
To marry them.
Okay. Deeply, deeply religious man you are. Of course.
And that's the key. Me signing on for this, you better know what you're going to get. And not you and spouse, soon-to-be spouse. Family, friends, nearby.
We've talked at great length about religion on this podcast. About how the rock rolled out of the way and
Jesus
came flying out like he was shot out of a cannon, like he was Bomb Man.
Yep. And we are nearing that time again in history with the Iron Man Jesus. Launching those.
Right, yeah. It was just like the beginning of Iron Man when he shot out of the cave. They thought he was building a missile.
Yep.
But he built an Iron Man instead. Do you think that's where they got the
story of Jesus?
Like that's
from Iron Man?
Is that a Stan Lee? That's a Stan Lee joint, right? Yeah. So
Tales of Suspense. I forget the number from way back when. Yeah. A much less cool Iron Man suit.
Not as cool. So
when it initiated, it was a gigantic. If you look at the cover here, Steve, of the
I really couldn't care less.
Very first Iron Man.
Oh, boy.
This is where we were in the 60s.
Okay. Kind of looks like what you would expect from the 60s.
I think this is the future.
Yeah. Look. This is what robots will be like.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
We have a huge day. So much to get to.
Do we?
That I don't want to get super sidetracked.
I'm already sidetracked because of something that I saw that I need your opinion on, but I digress. Let you.
Within the next 2 weeks, you're going to start seeing posts. I believe in 2 weeks, we'll start launching I don't even know what year it is. What annual of the Pull Badness.
Oh, God, not this again.
Well, listen, I'm not going to hear it from you. That's a lot of work. and it's not fun. It's fun when we get to the polls. When we get to the actual tournament.
Yeah.
Leading into it, I despise the prep. I despise it, but that'll be coming. We're going to need...
we're not doing 64, right?
We knocked it down to 32 last year. That was a great decision.
Thank God.
That was a fantastic decision.
For some reason, because I knew that we had done 64 initially, and then we knocked it down to 32, but for some reason I was thinking in my head that last year we had a wild hair, and we're like, no, let's do 64 again. And I can't imagine that...
We have 64 polls that are worth it. I just don't want to do the legwork. And I really feel like paring it down to the 32 really gets us to the cream of the crop.
Cream of the crop, yeah. Creme de la creme.
So while I'm looking at numbers 59 and 60, deciding which should be a 15 seed and should be a 16 seed, and I realize, hey, this is idiotic. This is too many polls, and I've now been doing this for 4 hours.
Yeah.
I'm done. Yeah. But stay tuned for that. That'll be on all our social medias here to line up with March Madness coming up in 2 weeks. That starts already. Less than 2 weeks.
I am not looking forward to this. Can't wait.
I love the tournament. I do. I always appreciate the input. So if you have any that right now you're thinking, hey, make sure you don't miss it. This should be a number 1 seed. I know we've had, I want to say it was Trevor throughout the year, chime in with saying hello to the future number 2 seed. If you have any thoughts on things, hey, make sure you don't overlook this, Kyle, because you're an idiot. I go through all of our tweets month by month and pick what I think are the best. I then pare that list down to 32. I then rank those 32, and then I try to find a bracket to where I can fit that many words and that small of a space.
It's usually a little wordy.
But that's how it works.
We
digress. Steve, you said you're distracted. I'm very curious right off the bat.
I haven't heard a word you said.
Can you tell me what's going on in Steve land? Is this related to it all? We had a pre-podcast discussion about taxes, which is as exciting as you would think.
Oh boy, yeah, lots of talk about 1099 -ints, for all the accounts that are earning all that interest.
Thousands in interest in all these savings
I
accounts.
had one 1099 INT. I think can I brag here for a minute?
Listen, it's just the two of us, so
I don't want to brag, but I'm going to because I want to. I had one account, $27.92 in interest last year.
Listen here,
that's right.
Big spender. Take it easy. Bleep it. Please bleep that.
No, big saver. You mean big saver?
I don't want our listeners to now think we're not men of the people.
I know.
After they hear that,
I know.
Ease, Pete, Steve.
I apologize for alienating 99.9% of you deadbeats that are listening.
Is this tax related at all?
It's not tax related. Well, I guess it's sort of in a way, because you know how if every year around tax time, I don't think I'm alone in that you think like, oh, I wonder how much we're getting back this year, hoping that you're going to get something back. And it's kind of like the lottery dream where you start thinking of like, what would I spend it on?
Yeah, maybe the government screwed up.
Maybe I'll get a hot tub this year.
Yeah, right.
Something stupid.
Could you see yourself, just a quick interjection about hot tubs, could you see yourself being a inflatable hot tub guy?
I have seen them so many times on Marketplace, and I think everybody can. But that's the reason there's so many of them on Marketplace.
Well, first of all, I would never buy one on Marketplace. I don't know what you heathens have done in them or to them.
You just dump some bleach in it.
I feel like I'd be haunted by the memories.
Right.
But
I could definitely be an inflatable hot tub guy.
Here's my only thing with the inflatable hot tub.
What do you got?
You always I see the ads on wherever, Amazon, whatever it may be, for 4-person.
Mm-hmm. There's no chance.
No. If you want,
they show up and they're basically the size of like a 55-gallon drum.
You want 4 in there, you better buy an 8.
Right.
And I don't even know if they make 8s.
Yeah.
But that's the only way.
At least buy 2 4s.
Yes.
Do a figure 8. So, spending my money.
So you're dreaming.
Spending my money before I even have it in hand. Before even knowing if I'm getting a refund. Mm-hmm. There's a good chance that tax guy Jeff is going to get back to me and say, well, your lucky streak has come to an end. I know you got $48 back last year, but this is the year that you owe $3,500.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, listen, you were busy. You were out there hobnobbing at the wholesale discount tarp stores.
hustling.
And you get paid when you do that.
Oh, God.
And boy, oh boy,
Yeah.
do those stores reap the rewards.
Yes, they do.
A bargain, if I could say so myself, to have you, the very, very famous Steve, at the opening of the newest liquidation kitchen appliance store.
Let me just say to all the business owners out there, if you're looking for the best return on investment, considering hiring me and Kyle, both of us, we'll both come out. We'll do live hits from your venue.
Live to podcast hits.
Live to podcast. We'll throw in a Facebook Live or two.
So that means we could be at this remote on a Saturday, asking people to come out and visit us, recording it for a Tuesday release, saying, hey, come on out and visit us.
You show up today, you're getting 6% off if you mention Steve and Kyle.
Hey, Jimmy, are you working Tuesday? Can I tell them you'll be here?
Or any day moving forward, because we don't know when someone's going to listen to this.
Yeah. Good. It sounds like Jimmy's here Tuesday, Thursday, but don't come in around 1.
Yeah.
He's a pretty regular lunch eater at 1. So make sure you're coming after those hours. And then Thursday, I think, Diane gave me the thumbs up. Diane's here Thursday.
Yeah. But she usually has to leave to pick up her son by 3.
Yeah, so she's going to be out from 3 to 4. She'll be back from 4 to 6 for close. Other than that, we look forward to seeing you here. Again, Steve and Kyle podcast, live at the newest Scratch and Dent Appliance Liquidation
Station.
Center.
Yeah. It's got to be the liquidation. If you own a Scratch and Dent appliance store called the Liquidation Station, we're your guys.
Yeah, well, I'm posting on the poll. Will you visit us if we do a live parentheses to podcast remote from the Liquidation Station? But we digress.
So, you know me. I love me some Marketplace.
I would argue that there's a couple of degrees of you liking Marketplace. I've never considered you a massive Marketplace shopper.
I'm on it enough, and I always see stuff I want, but yeah, you're right.
Are you just a browser? Is this like the modern day East Bay catalog?
Yeah. Oh, God, I loved East Bay.
Who did? If you didn't love the East Bay catalog.
Good God, I loved East Bay
Just went
so
under.
much.
That's why I thought it just went under. I think this year, like, they had the last catalog ever. Turns out you don't need a catalog every quarter to buy shoes.
R.I.P. to East Bay.
Mm-hmm. So this is your version, the internet version for adult Steve of East Bay.
Yeah.
So you're not going to spend $150 on shoes, but you're just scouting. Are you going to like general? Are you going to free? What are you doing when you scroll Marketplace?
No, I'm just kind of going to general because the more you do it, the more the algorithm figures out what you like. So right now, a lot of my algorithm, of course, you're not going to be surprised, but the algorithm is Jeep stuff and like
oil pans.
Yeah, exactly. So I found something that it's going to be real tough to say no to, but it's also going to be real tough to convince my wife.
Okay.
Is a necessary purchase.
So let me ask you some questions around this before we get to what it is, because I have no idea. Would your wife have questions based on its size? Is it something very large?
Define very large.
Well, I guess the largest doesn't matter. Is that
because,
a reason you think Annette would have an issue with it? Because of its size.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be one.
Now, the way you framed this before when we were talking about taxes, would Annette have an issue based on its cost?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So it's an expensive, possibly large item.
Right.
Would Annette have an issue with this possibly? Do you want it, I should say, because it's car related?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so now I know Annette is all the way out.
This thing is so cool that I think even you, a non-car guy, couldn't care less about vehicles.
Right, unless it's a 1999 Plymouth Prowler preferably in that beautiful purple.
Yeah, plum purple, whatever it was called.
That's a good looking car.
It's a beautiful car.
Right.
It's a hell of a machine.
Man, I can't imagine ever having one of those. The dream car.
This thing is so cool.
Okay.
That you will look at it and say, that's cool. You need to buy it.
Is this one of those Gators? One of those four-seater Polaris things that are off-road? Okay.
Similar.
Is this...
But those you can't drive
on the road. Right. Okay, so I think I know what this is.
This baby's street legal.
I think I know what this is.
What do you got?
I see them a lot in tourist towns. You see them on the big streets in, Miami and Vegas and wherever. Is this one of those trikes with the three-wheel cars?
The motorcycles that have like two wheels in the front, but one.
Yes.
But it's basically a motorcycle from like the handlebars back, but it has two wheels.
Yeah.
No.
Wow. I really thought that was it.
Cooler than. And do you think that those? What are your thoughts on them? Like the trike things.
I think I'd enjoy driving them, almost like I described seeing them.
I've ridden one before. They're awesome.
I feel like that would be cool. Again, on a vacation, rent one for a day. If we're going maybe up, whatever, what's the highway that goes up the ocean? Pacific
Coast Highway.
Yes. Yeah. If you're going, that would be neat, right? Top down, you're, the ocean breeze, seeing all the sharks mauling, whatever.
Wind in your hair.
Yes, absolutely. At that point, I'd probably have to put a headband on to keep the hair out of my eyes. Right. Again, that's talking about my chest hair, which I got the Jersey chest hair that goes way up my chest.
You got it.
That's obviously what we're talking about here. Headband my chest.
But to go back to that, cooler than the trike.
So based on what you telling me that Annette, you don't think Annette would be in favor of this. So I'm guessing you have not approached her about this idea.
I have not. Okay. I would say that
this bit ends right today with you just sending a link without words.
Yeah.
The link from this item to Annette from your computer.
Yeah.
So we can get a live response as to her reaction when we discuss
it. And maybe I'll say they're accepting offers today only.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah. Or like, if I offered, and you don't have to say it, but X dollars, what do you think if I offered X dollars?
I'll gladly tell you. I will gladly reveal.
Okay. So this is cooler than that. I'm out of ideas, and I don't want to drag the bit too long. Can you tell me what this is that you are so over the moon distracted about around tax season that you want to buy from Facebook Marketplace?
I can. I'll do better than that. I'll put it up on the Tron for you, but I need you to look away so I can get the
staring at those beautiful audio panels that you built a couple of years ago. By the way, happy anniversary to the studio. The 63rd episode. I forget how long we've even been in here, Steve.
We've been in here for about a year. But again, all of that, such second tier.
Yeah. You don't care about anything right now, it seems.
I don't care about anything. I can't wait to finish this podcast so I can message this person and start the wheeling and dealing process.
We have so much still to get to, too, and I feel like you're already in the
I'm
weeds.
One step out the door.
Okay. All right.
Would you like to see what I am obsessing over right now?
I would love to know.
Something that I think is so cool that you will think is so cool.
I haven't looked yet. Are you getting a boat?
Not getting a boat.
Okay.
No.
All right. I am ready. Can I look now?
You can.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Isn't that the coolest thing you've ever seen?
This looks to be the front end of a semi with a real short, stumpy back end, almost like it's been fashioned from a truck bed, but like an industrial truck bed.
Right, yeah.
And where there should be 4 or 8 large wheels, there are instead 4 very large treads.
Like tank treads.
What in the hell is this thing? And you're telling me this is street legal. You could go drive this down 131.
I don't believe that you can drive with treads on the road, but those, believe it or not, those can be...
Oh, good, they come off.
They can be removed and regular wheels can be put on.
For a father, husband with a family of 4, you have this insane urge to buy the most impractically sized vehicles I've ever seen in my life. It's impressive, really. That Comanche with a bed.
Yeah.
We're with just the bench.
This thing would probably fit in the bed of the Comanche.
You are...
That's how small. That's
Is it really?
Well, I mean, they're not that. It's essentially the size of like a side-by-side, kind of like what you were talking about earlier, like the Gator or the Polaris Razor.
Boy, based on the way the picture is framed and the way they took it, I thought this was very large.
No, it's...
So how big are the wheels that you can put on instead?
Oh, they're small wheels.
So they're like 16-inch wheels, 18-inch
probably
wheels?
Smaller. I would bet that this truck probably came factory with like 12-inch wheels.
Okay, so Boy, I'm surprised you don't have 4 or 3 and call it good hanging around.
You never know. I got a big parts bin, by the way, made a hell of a sale. I'm on such a heater these last 2 weeks or so.
Been finding some real dirt bags?
Selling everything. Everything.
This usually precludes some type of move. So are you are you getting out of town again?
Once again, you mock me for all of the times I've moved.
Like 6, I think, right?
I've moved one more time than you have.
I mean, Jersey to the apartment, right? Apartment to house 1, house 1 to house 2, house 2 to house 3. So you've had 4 moves since...
Well, since I...
Excluding Jersey, which obviously is in jest.
Since we have known each other.
Yeah.
Apartment.
To Valley.
To house 1.
Yeah.
House 1 to Annette's house. Annette's house to here.
Yeah.
3.
Yeah.
Which is 1 more than you.
Yeah.
Well, when I met you, you were living
I was
at
home. Yeah, in 2010 I was at home. Home to apartment.
So home to apartment.
Apartment to house.
Apartment to house.
Yeah, I mean, apartment doesn't really count for a lot of people.
All right, then I'll take my apartment out too.
Okay, that's fair.
All right, so back to the discussion.
This
is what is called a this is a truck that's imported from like Japan. Okay. In Japan, they have a class of vehicles that are used specifically for commercial use. It's called it's either a key truck or a K truck.
Yeah, I've seen the videos of those.
Yeah, it's called like KEI. I think it's pronounced K truck. That is just their classification for businesses to transport goods back and forth. It's very utilitarian.
It's KEI, you are correct.
Yeah, so it's got a little truck cab, so you can sit in there. It's a 2-seater. This one, I'm assuming, is going to be right-hand drive, because most of them that get brought in from Japan are right-hand drive vehicles.
So is that legal for you to drive here?
It is. It is.
Really?
Yeah, you can legally get these things registered and insured to drive on, as long as all of the there's the proper turn signals and brake lights and all of that stuff, headlights, all of that stuff, working horn, you can get them registered and insured to drive.
So obviously remove the tread, put tires on, or wheels on.
Well, I mean, remove the tread when I need to.
Sure. If you've got that thing around the house...
I'm driving it in my backyard every day.
No question. I think this is a beautiful vehicle for your children to start learning how to drive on. Right?
Tell me about it. You can't tell me. Again, you are not a car guy at all.
No.
Except for... the
1999 plum purple Plymouth Prowler. That's right. The 4 Ps. The 1999 P4.
Yeah.
That's what us in the biz, or in the, in the fandom call it.
Mm-hmm. You can't tell me that you look at that thing and you think, that's not cool. That's a cool vehicle. That's a cool vehicle. It's like a little apocalypse vehicle.
I have, you can find all of our polls at Steve and Kyle on Twitter. The most recent one. Is there anyone better at wanting to waste money on dumb than Steve?
I mean...
Oh, no offense.
Oh!
You know what? I jumped the gun, though. I jumped the gun, so I need to apologize. I'm not going to remove the poll, but I do apologize. Can you said you're comfortable giving me the price. If you're not, that's fine. Can you give me a range?
If you noticed, I cropped it, so
yes,
you can't see it.
So okay.
But I want to. I want to reveal it to you.
Can I guess?
Yeah, go ahead.
So this particular one, is this a new... obviously, I don't know the specific. Is it a new key truck? Newer?
I'm not sure of the specifics on this exact model.
Yeah.
This was posted on Marketplace by a company that, like, they must import these, import a lot of them, fix them up, put the treads on them, and sell them.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that this is like a full-on business.
Okay.
So they have this one. They have a couple different ones posted. So they have a price on there, but it seems like that's probably maybe a a general average price since it's not for this specific vehicle.
So you think it's more negotiable than
Well,
not?
I think that they may have some that are more high dollar than others, depending on the condition they're in, the amount of work that they do. But I would assume that the price that's on this one is kind of their average price.
Sure.
Like, don't contact us unless you're comfortable spending roughly this amount.
Man, okay. I don't want to be way off base. Is this a $8,000 vehicle? I'm struggling because it is, the way you describe it is so small.
Yeah.
But it being street legal.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously you're getting the tires and the tread, which is, that's just a bonus.
I'm not sure if they sell you the tires as well, but
you would have to get them.
This thing, you would basically need to get tires and wheels for an ATV, which probably $400 or $500. So it's not like it would be a ton of money to put them on.
I'm going to stand by it. I think $8,000. I think. I mean, this is a running vehicle with not a ton of miles on it. You said it's been, you'd assume, pretty freshly imported.
Yep. All right. Notice how, you see the dollar sign up there in the top right. So we're going to do this like Price is Right style.
Okay. Slowly unveil one
so the
digit at a time.
First digit, it's a 1.
So I'm thinking, my first gut is that I undershot it. Mm-hmm. And I think we're now looking at a 5-figure vehicle. Which again, oh my God. Yeah, I undershot it.
I mean, it's worth it though, right?
That's a 5-hour drive. I see the location.
Oh, yeah.
That's a 5-hour drive.
But imagine driving that thing back.
And that is double what I guessed. That is on the high end. I'm genuinely shocked. $16,000.
But look how nice it is.
There's words I would use to describe it. Boy, I got to tell you, Steve. Please, let's tie this loop before this podcast is over. Can you send just that that listing? And I don't know how you want to frame it, or if you just want to leave no framing around it. I would love to see Annette's reaction to you sending that. Say, hey, if the tax return comes out nicely, what do you think? Or however you want to frame it. Because you're right, and I'm on Annette's side. I can't think of something dumber to buy than, honestly, and I mentioned boat.
Boy, I don't know why.
I mentioned boat to you. I mentioned a gator, which again,
do you need me to put the picture back up there?
Yeah, no, I'm all set. That is, I mean, you could. Whew. I mean, I'm guessing though those things probably run for 500,000 miles, right?
Like you're getting your money's worth.
Yeah,
out of it.
like it might be 16,000 today. But again, when one of your poor children is now saddled with that turd on their first day of after getting their license.
Look at that. Get it in red, too. That's nice, right?
Huh.
Look, and they finance, too. They can do $220 a month.
I got to tell you. Oh, and they deliver to your door?
Nationwide door-to-door delivery available. Look, they're turnkey, too. That means that thing pulls
I
up.
would hope so. If you're spending $16,000 and they drop it off and say, good luck fixing this dump, I would argue $16,000 was too much, right?
It's hard to say.
What gets in your brain that you think this would be something fun for the... And I'm not even saying family. You think so you just take it out for a drive to have fun, you think?
Just cruising through the woods in that thing?
What woods?
We live in a state that's like 90% trees.
Yeah, but they're not just going to let you go to like a state forest
you can
dump your key truck and go through the woods, can you?
You can. Yeah, if you have a off-road pass.
I just figured there were limited spots you could do that, and that something like this would not apply.
Why wouldn't it?
I would guess it's too large, but
too
listen,
large.
It sounds like I'm way off base.
It's smaller than that thing is smaller. There's a smaller footprint on that than there is on the Comanche.
What do you think a key truck goes for in Japan or China? Off the conveyor.
Trust me, I have looked at these. You can go online. Mm-hmm. There are specific sites for key trucks, K trucks, whatever they're called. You can buy them for as little as $1,000.
Okay.
Auction price. Now, granted, you then have to pay for the shipping because it gets loaded into a container, put on a ship, and like 2 months later, you're going to get it. Mm-hmm. But I've seen shipping $2,000 or so. So I could have this thing on U.S. soil for $3,000.
Okay.
If I went and bought. Now, granted, I would have to then. We're a bit landlocked here. Mm-hmm. There are no shipping ports.
Yeah, we're not going to be able to get the boat or the big freighter boat through the local lake.
Most likely have to drive to the East Coast or have it shipped from the East Coast, which would, let's see, with my experience in shipping vehicles, probably be about another $1,500 or so. So, yeah, I mean, I'd have 4 times as much into it shipping it, but I also can't just drive to Japan, hop in, and drive it home.
Right.
But man, that'll be a fun trip, though.
I was looking to cast something I found for you to the Tron, but I can't find the Tron. So let me give you a counteroffer from our friends at U.S. Mini Truck Sales.
Oh, yeah.
And again, reach out if you're working there. Steve will do.
Oh my good Lord!
Based on the prices here, a lot of remotes.
Where is U.S. Mini Truck Sales located?
Good question.
In the U.S., of course.
Obviously. Good news. Rochester, Michigan.
Oh.
I have to offer you today a 2014 Power Package and Farming Package Toyota Pixis.
Toyota Pixis.
It's a Daihatsu Hi-Jet. It's a key truck.
Oh, yeah. Daihatsu Hi-Jet. That's a very popular one. The Honda Acti.
Now, I might have you thinking, hey, whatever. Why would I do that when I get this one with treads and it's red? Mm-hmm. How about a 2-inch lift? How about 23-inch tires?
Oh, 23s, huh?
For the low, low price.
Yeah. Give it to me.
Of $99 less than that.
Oh, okay.
And it's Rochester.
You know, I think for the extra money, I'm making the trip to Sandusky for the treads.
Okay, you're going to add the. Now, is this something that you could tackle? You think where the wheels pop off and you buy treads that are already. You could buy your own treads. Mm-hmm. Like you would then spend 8 months trying to find the best deal on Facebook Marketplace
for treads. Yeah. Oh, I mean, if I wanted to, I could go on to Marketplace or I could go on to the internet right now.
Yeah.
Buy treads that would bolt onto the Comanche.
Okay.
Spend a couple $1,000s on them, and they'd be here in a week or two. They'd show a big FedEx truck. Would show up.
But it is that much?
They're expensive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because again, they have to contact apparently the U.S. military.
Stark Industries makes them.
I'd be curious to hear how Annette reacts to just that listing whenever you send it off. Because
I'm going to send it to her right now. I need you to help me craft this message that portrays that it's not if we're buying this.
It's when.
It's when and... Well, that's it. Just when. Okay.
So we have to put this light delicately. Okay,
so I have the link pasted.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
Crack the knuckles.
How fun will this be going for rides in the woods?
With the kiddos.
Yeah.
Question mark, exclamation mark.
Yeah, no, I think you've nailed the nuance here that we need to tell.
How fun
because you did
Yes. Not would.
Exactly.
Will.
Yeah. How fun will this be?
Going for rides in the woods.
With the kiddos.
With the kiddos.
And again, you can throw them in the back. Does that bed go up and down?
There are some that have dump beds on them.
How about that? You offer that as a
we need mulch? No problem. We're not paying that $15 delivery fee from the local place.
And I'm sorry, you want to dump it in my driveway? No, thank you. Put it in the key truck's dump bed, and I'll drop it in the backyard.
Take it right to the garden. Right.
Roll over the swing set to get where you're going. I'm excited for you.
I'm so excited. You can't tell me that if I didn't send you one of those texts again, in code where I said Tango Tango, the fox is running. and pulled up in your driveway in that thing, that you wouldn't run out and hop in and be excited?
I gotta tell you, my first concern would be, I gotta tell you, I'm already more optimistic about taking a ride in that than I was the Comanche.
Oof.
No offense to the Comanche, but based on experience after the Comanche, where again, I stunk of gasoline for 48 hours and I thought I was going to pass out.
Yeah, nothing's changed in that department. So, oh, look at that. We got a response. Oh, another one.
Okay, well, usually back-to-backs mean...
And a third.
Usually back-to-back-to-back means, when can we get it? You know, are you busy right now? And then the third one will be, stop effing recording, let's go get it, right?
I hear the keys jingling upstairs.
Right. Knocks on the door like, are you ready?
Okay, first one was an emoji.
Okay. Like the exploding brain, or...
Well, the eyes are looking in the direction of the brain.
Okay. So there's a bit of skepticism.
Some would call that the rolling eyes emoji.
Okay.
Followed by a not a chance. Followed even further by that's ridiculous. So... good to see that Annette is very on brand this morning.
It's not often, while recording, or even being in the presence of somebody, that you get the opportunity, Steve, to watch a dream die from someone's eyes, like I just did. I need to thank Annette for that opportunity, but more importantly, you. For that entire display and sales pitch. And I think that's the problem. She didn't get the sales pitch like I did. Yeah, she did. Right? She only got the back end.
I got to change my approach.
Yeah, I think you need to, after this recording, I think you call the family down to the Tron.
Okay.
And you give them the same thing and you ask her, hey, what do you think it costs? When she says like $3,000.
Good news. It's 5 times that.
Good news. That money we don't have, it's 5 times that. I mean, I guess I'm sorry. I was pulling for you.
Yeah. I don't know if this is the end of this discussion.
I mean, do we pivot directly to hot tub now, or?
See, that's what I got to do. I should have shown her a picture of like a $150,000 supercar.
Yeah.
And then like, I'm thinking about this, and then we negotiate down to the key truck.
Yes, exactly. I'm putting that on the poll as well. If the truck doesn't work out, do you always pivot to the hot tub? Because now I think you're like most people, though, and I do the same thing. The daydreams about the not lottery, obviously, but the tax-free
always daydream about the lottery.
Right, daydream about the lottery. But in this regard, maybe money's coming back, but in your mind, you're like, what if it's this dollar amount? And it's hard to remove yourself from that. I don't want to call it selfish, but to the point where you're like, hey, this would be really cool to have. But then in reality, you're like, well, what else would be cool? Education for my children.
Surely the education bubble will burst by the time they have to go to college, right?
College will be back to like a couple $100 a year.
Yeah, and you'll be guaranteed a 6-figure salary when you graduate.
That's right. Man, I'm sorry for you.
Just imagine that thing in the parade. I mean, the Comanche's going to be cool in the parade.
No.
But imagine driving through
that would be
with a tracked vehicle.
That would be so much better. You are right. Any skepticism I had,
gone.
I now want $16,000 spent for this parade so we can roll down the road with Christmas everywhere on Memorial Day in that tracked Japanese truck.
That's going to happen. It's going to happen at some point. May not be this year. Won't be this year. May not be next year. Definitely won't be next year.
I'll come back in 18 years, Steve, when the kids are graduated, maybe off to college.
I think
Is there a did the tide just come in?
I think that there is just the slightest little flicker.
Okay, so I mean, obviously 0 to 100, Steve. What? Give me a number.
Well, we were at 0.
Obviously,
we wanted to be at 100. Well, before reaching out to Annette, I'd say I was at about a 90. She came in.
Boy, that's very high for, no offense, a very irresponsible purchase.
So she came in, knocked my 90 down to a 0. We might be negative.
Right. She, in her mind, she's walking away, wiping her hands. She officially shut that down.
She's laughing because she surely doesn't think that this is a serious thing.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think if I told her if, like, maybe that becomes my primary vehicle? Like, I drive it to work every day.
I don't think she has the nerve to argue with you about vehicles anymore. Based on the transition in this family over the years in your vehicles and reconstructions and whatever.
Yeah.
That might be your only win because she does not have the nerve any longer.
She doesn't have the will.
Yeah.
I've just worn her down.
Right.
Okay. So we're at a 90.
And a negative.
Down to a 0. Possibly negative. I think 60, I think.
For you?
Based on the last 2 texts.
Okay, so she followed up. Now this has gone rat-a-tat-tat.
Again, I said, how fun will this be going for rides in the woods with the kiddos? She replied, eye roll emoji, not a chance, that's ridiculous. I replied, why? She replied, maybe you and Nikki. He's a maniac. Okay. He'd probably like it.
So now she's trying to pawn off the infant.
I'm cool with that.
Onto the key truck.
Yeah.
With treads.
But maybe you and Nikki, like, you got to admit, that's quite an about face. Where do you think
that's a big turn.
What would you rank that from 0 to 100?
Now, she has not commented on the price. And I still think, for my money, I think the price is prohibitive.
I'm confident that she didn't even
look at it.
She saw the little thumbnail image, saw a truck with tank treads.
And again, was already rolling the eyes in emoji form and in human form.
Yeah.
I'll give you. I'm not trying to deflate the balloon that just reinflated in your heart.
Yeah.
10.
Huh.
I still think
it's better than 0.
I still think that price tag is the biggest thing to overcome because
look, you're talking to a Facebook negotiator here.
You've got to start. Maybe get the tax man.
Yeah.
To start sending both of you texts. Be like, hey guys, looking real good. Even if it's not, it doesn't matter. Right. It doesn't matter. You need to set the stage.
I need to come up with. I need to find the one website because surely there's one where it says the next great business investment: Japanese K trucks.
Yeah, I just googled. Key trucks are the best. Just to see what comes up. Is a key truck worth the investment? Here's what folks have to say about them, and it's in an article. It's a long article. She's not going to read it all. Maybe you just forward this one to her.
I'll just highlight the parts that say yes.
Our key
good.
Oh, and I know she's not going to stick around with this because half of the answers are key trucks hard to work on. And then below it is a link to a YouTube video. We all know she's not watching those. Right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I can't think of anything worse.
Oh, boy. Look at this one. This one. Look. It's bright green. $14,000, already saving money. Look, it's got flashing lights on it and everything.
Well, it's been 10 weeks, so I think you can probably safely knock
I could
$2 to $3 more grand off of
I
that.
could get this thing for $5,000. Look at that.
Either that's a leak or it's freshly washed.
Could be both. Look at that. Oh, they put a little John Deere logo on the front of it.
No. Oh, God. I don't like this.
Truck has no known issues. Truck has been painted. 2-inch lift. Custom painted wheels. 23-inch tires. Bluetooth speaker. Aux fuse box panel for ACC accessory lights.
Oh, boy. You have this thing with weird vehicle clubs.
I do.
Right? The Jeeps, the Scoots.
Yep. Oh, look, it's called the Green Bastard.
Is there any way we could just get you back on one of them scooters?
I don't
Would
think
that satisfy any itch, you think?
That ship has sailed.
Even that souped up, not technically street legal one that you had received years ago?
Yeah.
That wouldn't scratch that itch for you?
Nope.
It's now this?
Yeah. I got a family now, man. I need to think about that.
No, I'm aware. That's what I mean. They would have to be subjected to these boring-ass rides if you got a scooter.
Come on. When you were a kid, if your dad pulled up in the driveway in this thing, you would have thought, this is amazing.
I'd be so embarrassed. I would be so embarrassed if my dad pulled in the driveway and said, jump on in.
I don't believe that. I don't believe it. Nope.
Oh, God.
Not at all. Look at that. It's got one of those things.
Maybe it's me. It does not look like it has a windshield.
Oh, what are you
talking about? And that last picture, that looked very...
it's fine.
Helmets and hats.
Ski goggles.
Well, I wait with bated breath to hear how this goes off podcast so we can get an update on this next week, hopefully.
Man, I wish that I could record all of the times that my wife rolls her eyes at me.
Right.
When I come up with master plans.
Maybe now when you remember, we've thought about it or read or whatever. This week, which it's inevitable, when you come up with some half-cocked plan to do something else that doesn't make sense for you financially or family-wise, and she rolls her eyes.
You know what? Look, financial-wise, let me be the judge of that.
I would just say that $16,000.
Hold on. 91 Daihatsu Hijet dump truck.
I got to say, you know what?
Look at this baby.
Reed would be jazzed. Reed would be over the moon if you pulled in the driveway.
I could probably get a part-time job delivering mulch.
That's what you need. W-2, 1099, another 1099. No, not even 1099. Just hey, pay me via Venmo, and I'll dump your mulch for half the cost.
Cash. Nobody's got to know about this.
Under the table.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want a third job in addition to another vehicle at the house.
And this one's down to $13,000. The more I click.
16 weeks ago in Chicago. This is the $5,000 dream.
This is the deal of the century. This could be the new deal of the century.
Well, much like people have done over the years on this podcast, where they would send you, before you had the Comanche, they'd send you Comanche sale listings. Send the podcast the key truck listings that you see in your area.
Yeah. No. Send me the ones that you're going to give me.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, that's right.
Can you send a key truck to a P.O. box?
Can you reach out to this U.S. Truck Mini Sales in Rochester and say, hey, I'll do a remote for you for a truck?
What do you think?
Deal?
I mean, look at that. Interior looks a bit busy.
Yeah, I mean, you got to realize...
Is this a car seat?
Limited space with for anything.
Well, I'm going to swap out the bucket seats for a bench seat, obviously, so I can fit the whole family in there.
So we're already adding money to this already investment to do different
you can get a bench seat at the junkyard for $50.
Good. Well, you get to sit on only the best for your family then.
Man, oh man.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. Terrible, terrible family and financial planning from our very own Steve.
Man, this one's up to $20,000. This one's got a snowplow.
Well, it's $20,000 because it's a 2022. I mean, that is... I mean, you could sell the snowplow as we could sell our snowblower, and for $300.
How cool would that be? Back the thing into the garage the night before it's going to snow.
Yep.
Open the garage and just...
So that means you would then have to continue to park in the driveway or on the road so you could get the driveway cleared. Nothing wrong with this system at all.
Well, no, we just have to park. We just have to shuffle the cars around in the garage a bit. Maybe park sideways or something. These are small vehicles.
You've talked about this before as well, where I believe the words out of your mouth is, I could fit 3 in there. And that never happened.
I've had 3 in there.
Obviously not comfortably, but they do fit because of the shape of the garage, right?
Yep.
So Annette's climbing out a window or crawling out of the trunk.
If you're creative, you can fit 3 cars in a 2-car garage. You can.
I would argue in your 2-car garage.
Oh, you could do it in yours. You could absolutely do it in yours.
You know what?
All the way over to the sides, and then you got a vehicle right in the middle. Okay, plus, you got the big wide garage doors. See, I got the 2 single garage doors.
I think that helps your space. I'll pay you. Here's what. I'll give you $200 if you can get 3 cars in my garage.
Do you want to stop recording right now?
Now, we're not talking about my cars, right?
Drive to your house?
We have a Ford Explorer in there. I think you would have to be the very specific car, right?
Oh, boy, I think I might have found it.
Oh, my God. This is
The
such a
2008
turd.
Tiger utility vehicle, Star.
Yeah.
$8,000. It's a 4-door. Only 274 miles. It's got a giangling gas engine. And that is right here in our hometown.
Send that one to her.
Listed 9 weeks ago.
Oh, that's $5,000. No question.
Look at this.
That is a bigger piece of junk than the other ones. I'd like to see you send that one along.
Look, it's got mud flaps that say Tiger Truck on them.
Do you want to come up with some fun name for this one? Like that one that you looked at was the Green Bastard? We'd have to think of some fun name for this.
Yeah, this is the white the white devil.
Yeah, no, the Grandmaster, right? And you roll through with a white truck, right?
I don't think so. I think that one... I think that might have been ruined.
No. Oh, what about White Knight?
No.
Just an idea, man.
Good condition. Hydraulic brakes. Crew cab. Oh, it's only 2-wheel drive. That's right. We'll convert it.
Okay, so again, we're talking about spending more money.
Well, look, this one's down to $8,000. And like you said, 9 weeks ago, we're getting this thing for $6,000 max.
Right, no question. AC and heat.
Uh-huh.
2-wheel, yeah. I mean, outside of the thousands of dollars to convert it to 4-wheel drive.
Nah. Couple $100. This thing will be 4-wheel drive.
So I'm happy for you. I look forward to the apartment you have to
the
move
front half
into
of
when
a
your wife
minivan.
and family leaves you.
Front half of a minivan, back half of a truck.
Can't imagine anything more useless in this driveway than that.
It's offensive.
No offense. Dang it.
Yeah. Apologize, please.
So sorry I offended you. Hey, Steve, last week we put out the call, and I don't even remember what we were talking about.
I think we were talking about Japanese K-trucks. So let's just continue.
I can't imagine I will ever have another conversation in my life about Japanese K-trucks.
Oh, you will.
Against my will.
If anyone wants to just talk about that with me, reach out. We'll do a podcast together.
Yeah. Boy, oh boy. Can you put that on, another feed? Not to clog on. We're just low on space and time.
I know a lot of people who are into that kind of stuff. They'd talk about it with me.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know which poor sap you think is going to fall for that ruse.
All right, if you're out there, you want to talk Japanese K-trucks.
And I say that dismissively, but I also do understand. There's people who comment on your Jeeps posts with
all the time
words and letters that don't make any sense to me. So I know that there is some poor, dumb fool out there.
Yeah. Oh, man, I can't.
And then there's also someone outside of this studio.
I'm so addicted to Marketplace lately. I can't stop. I haven't bought anything, but man, I've been on a selling heater.
You wait till you see that refund hit the account. And then...
oh, my God. $3,500, an 81 Chevy fire truck.
Okay, now you're just looking at junk. You are just now looking at garbage. I'm begging you for your marriage, your family. Do not add another vehicle to this.
Ooh, look at this. This is a 2005 48-volt Tiger delivery van.
Mm-hmm.
Goes 33 miles per hour and has a range of 30 miles.
Oh, God.
I could almost get to work and back.
Is that an RC car? Last week, we were talking about something, and I genuinely forget why. And we asked the question out loud, has anyone listened to everything we've done? And
all 356 to date. This is 357 today.
Much to my surprise, we received multiple. And I mean that sincerely. I think it was more than 5 people who have reached out saying, yes, I've listened to everything. Different manners, whether they be I joined at episode whatever, 50, 60, 70, but then I went back and listened, whatever. We have had a handful. So I wanted to reach out and talk about what happened in this person's life. The first person who reached out to us, and we'll have to get clarification on his name, I'm going to guess Garen.
Garen?
was the first person who messaged
G-Man.
about this.
G-Dog.
And I believe I did send you his phone number, Steve, if
Yeah,
you wanted to
I
dial that up so we can see what happened in this poor young man's life.
Are we gonna do this? Are we gonna tightrope walk this one?
It has been a while, and I think it's time to revive this long gestating bit of 2 minutes of awkward conversation.
Okay, let's see if Geron picks up. Garen, G-Man.
I think it's got to be the opening question, right? Or should we just go back and forth the whole...
G-Man.
Hello?
G-Man, what's up?
G-Dog.
How you doing?
It's the Steve and Kyle podcast. How are you, sir?
Good. How are you?
Good. We need some clarification right off the bat.
Yeah.
We had some debate. Is it Garon, like French, or is it Garen, or is it Geron?
It's Garen, but G-Man also works.
Okay, cool. Very cool.
Okay. Now, Garen, you were the first to message. That's why you've been settled into this. So the first question about you, you've listened to all of this, and it says, let's see, you said you joined during vacation of the Side Gig Show, best way to do it, and that was around episode 70, and then you went back and listened to those first 70 or so episodes. Is that right?
Correct.
What happened?
Yeah, why?
Just life.
Why'd you do that?
Like life, what happened? Why'd you do that? Is everything okay?
Well, I guess my number one answer is just that I have a lot of time.
Okay. So you're bored. And I do feel the need to point out to you, we talked about this, I want to say 2 weeks ago on the podcast, there are 4 million podcasts, and I would argue more than 3 million of those have some type of direction or point.
Yeah, like, hey, this is the cooking podcast. This
Yeah.
is the sports podcast. This one doesn't really have direction so much.
Yeah.
Why? Other than time. What kept you here for the last 356 episodes?
Yeah.
Well, I prefer the lack of direction.
Well, you're in the right place then.
Now, Garen, we've received some harsh criticisms over the years. The brothers Humphrey are two of the names that come to mind who have come and gone. They left the listening audience.
Yeah, they did, didn't they?
Yeah. If you had to pick, what would you say was the heyday of the Steve and Kyle? The best of the best. Was there a time frame where you think back, go, boy, these two guys had it then and they've lost it now?
Because we're not in it now. We know
we're not in it.
This is
we're in a lull.
We peaked a long time ago.
Right.
We are in the slow decline.
Right.
Well, as you said last episode, when Kyle had the floppy foot and you were making, 3-hour episodes, that was the peak.
You liked that.
Wow. Well, he had a lot of time.
Right. But boy, oh boy, I can't. There's nobody I want to talk to for 3 hours anymore. Nobody.
Why do you have so much time, Garen? Do you not have a job? Do you not have a family? What's going on? Everything all right?
I'm a truck driver.
Okay.
Oh,
all
so
right.
are you long haul or are you like home every day?
Well, I'm home every day, but I'm based out of Syracuse, but I'll drive down to Pennsylvania and back, or New Jersey and back. So it's still like a 12, 13, 14-hour day.
Okay, so you're listening. Do you listen to this podcast at normal speed? You don't speed it up to get to the more important podcasts in your queue?
Honestly, the first, when I went back for the 70 episodes, I did do the 1.5 times, but now I listen to this and the Side Gig at regular speed.
Okay.
Boy, that's a lot of monkeys.
What are you
over there
hauling?
flinging?
What are you hauling, by the way? Anything good?
Yeah.
I deliver beer.
Oh,
Okay.
now we're talking. Now you're in the.
You mean you're delivering a adult beverage? Big more soda pops? Yeah, we can't say beer on this podcast.
So how often? Because Gary and I worked in beverage for a while. I worked in soda. I worked in
He's
energy
a beverage
drinks.
brother.
Can you
Yes.
try to tell Steve how funny it is when someone comes up to you when you're at a store or a warehouse or whatever and says to you, "Why don't you just back that up to my car?"
Actually, quite a bit. I'll stop at a truck stop and I'll get hey, can I have a case or two? I'm like, no.
Yeah, exactly. It's constant. And every person who says it thinks they're the first person who said that to
Yeah,
you.
no one's ever done that before.
So,
It's
Garrett,
always original.
are you married with a family or anything like that?
No. I mean, I have a girlfriend.
Okay. Does she know that you listen to this every week? Has she been maybe in your personal car, or is this strictly a work podcast?
It's strictly work, but she found out on Tuesday or Wednesday when I told her that I was having the call today. She found out who you guys were.
Okay. So what do you think the odds are? What's your girlfriend's name?
Renee.
Okay. What do you think the odds are? What can we do today to grease those wheels that we can get Renee on board? Now, I'm not talking Renee listening to 356 episodes. Can't imagine a worse torture than Guantanamo Bay. What do we need to do today to get Renee on board so that you can make this work podcast a personal car podcast?
There's not going to be anything you can do.
Okay.
What is she into? We could talk about that for an episode, and then you could download it and be like, look, the guys love, whatever.
Yeah, maybe she's into crocheting, and Steve and I will do a full 30-minute on crocheting.
Yeah, Crochcast.
Well, she likes Disney and cats.
Okay.
Well, Steve killed a cat. Didn't you? Or the cat's still alive? I'm sorry, I should clarify.
First of all, I don't know how that would convince her to listen if she loves them, and which I did not do, killed one. No.
I mean, last I knew you gave it to your in-laws.
Yeah, they have it, and the cat is very happy, and the in-laws are very happy.
We think.
To clarify, the cat is still alive and very happy. The cat's actually going to be spending a couple weeks with us.
You interrupted me. Killed the cat from this house. You interrupted before I could finish,
that's
Steve.
that's how people say that. I killed it with kindness. I killed it with love.
So when you say Disney, I mean, are you talking the classics, the new stuff? Is it everything?
Yeah, pretty much everything.
Okay. So we could get Evelyn down here right now.
I'm going to be at Disney next week.
That's right.
I'm going to be there for 1 day.
1 day, and I would argue the perfect amount.
1 day, and it's going to set us back thousands, no doubt.
Now, is Renee a Disney person, Garen? That to the point where you go visit the parks, you're spending a lot of your vacation time down there, you're revisiting.
We haven't yet, but she has many times. Okay. We haven't together.
Oh, that's what you got. Okay, so we need cats and Disney to bring
Not
Renee on board next week, Garen. You have her download next week's episode. And you'll have long form discussion.
Cat report.
The cat report and the Disney update next week on this podcast to get Renee on board so that you can take this from the semi to the personal vehicle.
Okay, I'll let her know.
Is she pumped about Frozen 3?
Mm-hmm.
It's in production now. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know if it's in production, but at least in the very early stages, is she excited about that and to see where Elsa and Anna go in the third chapter?
Well, she says yes, but I didn't even know that was a thing.
Oh, so son of a bitch!
God, do you even care?
Yeah.
Is she right? Is she by you right now, Garen?
No, she's in the other room.
She couldn't be bothered to even listen in to you.
No, not at all.
All right.
Well, listen, Garen, I don't know what happened to you either at a young age or an adult age to make you listen to this for 350 some odd episodes, but thank you so much for the service. And are you, a couple questions just to clear the board here while we get you off the phone. Are you team suspension bridge or covered bridge?
Covered bridge.
Yes! And team Halo Top or team Ben & Jerry's?
Ben & Jerry's.
Oh, just go listen to the side gig. You're banned.
Oh, boy.
You're off here.
I am so happy.
I mean, I have been listening to the side gig since 2016.
Okay.
All right.
Well, maybe stick over there because you're no longer welcome here in Team Suspension Bridge.
You also, what was that you said?
I also listen to every minute that they do, too.
Oh, thank you for your service.
Just too much.
Appreciate it, Garen. G-Man will call you. Yeah. Can't be said enough.
We're gonna put you down, Garen, as our local truck driving expert. You're on the Excel spreadsheet, so if we ever have any urgent truck driving questions, you're going to be the first one we call. While we get you off, this isn't going to make sense to you. Listen to this episode. Are you familiar or do you know about the Japanese K-trucks? Or do you know what those are?
Yes.
Okay. Now you're a truck driver.
Oh, wait a minute.
Are you laughing at those, or is that something you think, hey, that's a practical use of vehicle?
I wouldn't say it's practical, but I doubt I could even fit in one myself.
Okay.
Hey, if hypothetically If I were to import one of those from Japan and it ended up in a port on the East Coast, you being a truck driver, you could just swing by, pick that thing up, and drop it off here in Michigan for me, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't go past Buffalo, so I don't know how I could do that. But yeah, sure.
Well, you can grease the wheels a little bit
exactly.
here, Karen.
You know, just
the Steve Pony Express. We need, you know.
Exactly. What are you a Teamster?
No, we don't have a union where I am.
Oh, so
nice.
this all sounds like an excuse.
All right.
We'll see you in West Michigan in about 3 months with Steve's Japanese K-Truck.
I'll bring it over.
Appreciate it, Karen. Thank you very much for taking the time.
Yes, thank you.
Have a good one.
Yes, you too. Bye-bye.
Maybe we should go down the list, because like I said, we did receive multiple messages. So maybe next week we talk to the next idiot who's...
are we bringing it back?
I love it. There's nothing I love more than talking to these listeners about why and what and when. This person, if we talk to the next one on the list, I believe we have Mr. Casey James, Mr. Bryce Freeman. Those are two who have reached out. I want to say there's one on Twitter as well that I haven't. I don't remember the name, so I apologize. Maybe we'll run through them the next few weeks and ask what happened to them and why.
It's always interesting to me, like some of the names that you just mentioned, like Bryce and one of the other ones. I recognize.
Yeah.
It's always interesting when somebody like Garen pops up. I'm like, man, I don't know if we've ever interacted with him before. I don't remember ever seeing his name, commenting on things. That's always really cool, though, to hear that there actually are people listening that aren't like that core group of, 2 people or 3 people.
Yeah, it's funny. Looking back now, Garen messaged us almost 3 years ago, exactly. The first time he messaged us, I've not had a chance to interact with you guys until now, when we probably put out a very similar call to what we did last week. I have no clue what's on the recent podcast, but I wanted to let you know I stopped listening around Christmas 2019. Well, RIP to us. I joined around the 60s and a few weeks after the move into APS 3.0, but since Christmas, he went back and has been binge listening from the beginning.
Gotcha.
Just finished episode 69, where Rhett came over to pick up the pieces from Sam. I would want to keep up with the review pattern and say that I only listen because I have nothing else, but in actuality, he listened at this point to 3 or 4 episodes a day.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, he said he's driving 12, 13 hours a day.
There's just so much content out there.
Imagine how much he's going to be able to listen when he has to drive to that port in Virginia.
They got a port in Syracuse, you think?
Spend, no doubt, many, many hours, possibly days, going through the paperwork to get that thing through customs.
Yeah. In my mind, it's so disorganized, too. He's the one on the boat, like opening all of the crates, checking to see if it's Steve's K-Truck.
Looking for one with my name scribbled on it in a Sharpie. And then he's got
you on the phone, like video. No, it's the one with the treads.
The yellow one. Come on, man. Loading it onto his Budweiser truck.
Yeah, it's the big yellow bitch. Right on the windshield.
Loading it onto his beer truck, and then hitting, I-80 or whatever it is for the next 14 hours.
Hitting all the way stations through the turnpikes of Ohio and Pennsylvania, and then dropping it in your driveway.
Yep.
And then, again, getting out, you hitting him in the head with a baseball bat, spinning him 5 times and telling him get out.
Sure, look, I can't have people showing up at my house. Just can't do it.
Our thanks to Garen for joining us.
That's fun.
Man, always love talking to people. Again, if you're one of the few, if you've listened to everything we've done, we'd love a chance to talk to you about why. We'll do that over the next, I'm not going to say weekly because good chance we forget.
Yeah, plus we'll run out of listeners after about the third one.
It's not going to be very long. Yeah. Reminder, 2 weeks we are kicking off Pole Badness Tournament 2023, coinciding with the other basketball one that's going on, whatever.
Yeah, you may have heard of it.
Nobody cares about it.
Also, just a month out from the night before the side gig karaoke extravaganza. Is that what we called it?
It was the Good Friday, Steve and Kyle podcast Good Friday karaoke extravaganza.
Do you think
we should really do a tiny bit of planning for that, huh?
Do you think that if I work on this whole Japanese K-Truck thing, I could have one stateside that Garen could pick up and then drive here for the karaoke meetup? Do you think he'd do that?
I am so
Him and his lovely girlfriend? We'll record multiple cat reports in exchange for this.
I am so not dignifying that with a response. The answer is no.
Well, you really know how to crush a guy's dreams, don't you? You and my wife. It's like 1 and 1A. All right. Well, at Steve and Kyle, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Feel free to reach out if you actually have listened to all now 357 episodes of this podcast. Once again, a thanks to Garen for joining us. I think that's it, right?
That's all we got.
Talk to you next week. See ya.